survive, thrive, stay alive.
Hey, welcome to the Prepping Academy. I am Forrest. I got live in person.
Live. It's usually how that works. Whenever you have someone
Well,
person,
you could
usually
be
live.
they're
I
not
could be
always-
dead in person.
You're here live in person. We have Kyle.
There was that rumor circulating for a while that you killed me. So that was a thing.
Yeah, we do have the humps in the backyard.
Humps in the backyard.
I told people I had to move from my other house because there were so many humps in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
When you mow, it was just impossible.
Yeah, hand flies up out the side of the mower. No.
But you're live here in the bug out retreat.
Florida.
Yeah, and Miami, Florida.
Yeah,
It's my bug out.
The weather's so much nicer down here
Right
than
on
it
the
is
beach.
in North Carolina right now.
Yes.
So here it's really cold and dreary and miserable. Yeah.
And we just see beaches.
So we survived the holidays.
We did. We did survive.
Yeah. I'm happy that's all over.
And we're not going to talk about anything about the holidays
No, let's leave the holidays alone. They are what they are.
because we spent a lot of time with the family.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that. We are learning our lessons about talking about family. I am.
Yes. It's called operational security.
It's called Operation Shut Thy Mouth.
Yes. So now we're at New Year's. Hence why we're doing this early. Because
It's
where
New
we're
Year's
at,
Eve.
there's usually a lot of drunk drivers, and I pretty much told you I wasn't going to drive at night.
Yeah, and you said that, and I'm like, what? And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, and there'll probably be more drunk drivers this year than any year ever.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I mean, I plan to go out and drink and drive later too.
I told you.
No.
I said, great, I can get started drinking and driving earlier.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, though, it has gone up. I think there was not too far from me. There was a drunk driver the other day that went through someone's backyard and ran over their fire pit and stuff like that. And,
Nice.
yeah. Real Dukes of Hazzard style. Takes you way back, doesn't it?
If someone drinks and drives out here where I am, they just end up hitting a tree.
Well, dude, there's so many curves going through your neighborhood. Yeah, they'll hit a tree.
Yeah.
So we have coming up in 6 days?
You talking about January 6th?
Yes, that would be 6 days.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. What do you think?
Well,
because we've been griping a lot on the phone, back and forth. We talk almost every day, and
yes.
we're both pulling.
Wait a second. You do complain every time I call you.
I always complain
Because usually he doesn't get good cell signal in his house, so he actually has to go outside. And usually we don't talk until 11 p.m. or
no, it's like 11:30
or afterwards.
It's usually around 11:30.
And all of a sudden, you go, dude, I got to go in. I can't feel my hand.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cold out there. But literally, I mean, it's like if the phone is sitting right beside me, and you call, and I'm in the house, I won't get anything.
Right.
Very, very rarely. So I have to go outside. Because you literally did that. I think maybe like a week ago. You called twice, and I was like, "Dude, where you at?" And I just called, and there wasn't even a missed call thing on my phone.
Right. So in less than a week, Mike Pence will have the opportunity to literally throw this election away.
Potentially.
I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, I don't think most of us have faith in Pence.
Mm-mm.
I don't think most of us have faith in this process, whatever is going on right now, because here's part of the problem. We've listened to what? X-22, which I won't listen to anymore because I'm just going to be honest. His voice
Mike Adams.
Me. Mike Adams. I do like listening to Mike Adams. I feel like he doesn't speculate too much. We listen to
Monkey Works,
and I listen to a plethora of other guys on YouTube.
I listen to Stephen Bannon, which is one of my top people now.
Doug Hagman, I still listen to. Steve Quayle. There's an extensive list. I mean, we were talking one day. I think I listened to probably like 4 to 6 hours worth of podcasts, alternative media every day. Just while I'm doing other stuff and just
right. That's crazy. I can never.
But the thing of it is, it's like I kind of want to draw in and see what the consensus is, but everyone's so across the board, and I feel like they're all talking out of their ass, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's the biggest frustration. And I think you've said it as well. It's like, what's actually going on?
We want to know the truth. And I think it's, and I told you just the other day, I'm like, dude, I am tired of listening to these guys. They don't know any more than we know. I mean, it's almost like they're entertainment and some of the things they make up.
Yeah. The only thing I will say that I have any confidence is the thing that you discussed with me from your source.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that to me, I don't know if you want to share that, but that to me,
I do have a source that is on the inside. I mean, if there's a phone call with people, lawyers, and we'll say the group that Trump relies on, I have a friend in there.
Yeah.
And he obviously thinks that Trump's going to win.
Yeah. And he told us
and so
a lot
that
of
means
things.
so that means that group believes that Trump is still going to win. And we're talking inner circle of like less than 50 people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how inner circle it is.
And that gives me confidence because of what he had previously told you.
And you verified them. I'm not speaking smoke.
No.
Or anything. Yeah.
No, by any means. But what we knew as far as the virus, whenever it was getting started, this time even last year.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think with all the frustrations people have and everything that's coming to light, I think 2021 is a really great year to do something for our stress levels. And that is unsubscribe, block, disenfranchise.
I thought you were going to say grow marijuana.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
But the people who keep preaching these things and coming out and making all these like super outrageous claims. Like I heard, we were just talking before this. I'm hearing one now that someone's saying January 6th, Jeffrey Epstein's going to come up and he's going to point out the House and Congress members and, you know, everything and say like,
they say he's still alive.
He's a pedophile, you know.
Did Lynn Wood say he was still alive?
Yes.
See, Lynn Wood that's an inner circle guy there.
But I'm like, okay, if it doesn't happen,
right, then it was a lie.
Then we're done.
He also today said Roberts adopted 2 children from Jeffrey's ring.
Illegally.
Yeah.
I think I looked it up. I think it's Jack and Josie or
Jack and Jill.
Something like that. That's their names, but he does have 2 adopted children.
From Wales, I think.
Yeah. And who knows?
Who knows? But that came out from Lynn as well. But Lynn usually doesn't throw crap out there, but maybe he's starting to. It is a he, right?
Yeah. I think with 2020, there's so many people that have lost all sense of reality and they're just shooting out nonsense left and right. Going forward, any patriots, preppers, whatever you want to call yourself, if stuff that people are saying does not come to fruition, like if someone says something
we talked about this.
Like a guy like Dana Coverstone, the one pastor, I think it was Kentucky that was coming out, you know, he made some statements that he felt things were going to happen on December 18th. I think that's the only mistake he made was saying that day. Other than that, he was just saying, here's dreams that I had that may or may not mean things.
Okay.
I remember years ago, there was a guy I listened to that he had a vision of the tsunami in Japan. And he had a YouTube channel, ended up having a huge following. Then he fell away because he started making a bunch of other outrageous claims. Things didn't happen. His life just fell apart. A year later, he came back and he apologized for everything, said he understood what he did. He made a mistake and cool. But these people who are doing it now, it's gaslighting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, and we had this conversation maybe a week ago. I said, listen, if these people that we're listening to and the stuff that they're predicting or saying doesn't come to pass, we need to stone them.
Yeah. I'm going to start there and say,
I mean, not physically stone them, but in a sense, get rid of them and platform them if we can. Anything we can do.
Because whatever's going on right now, it's really obvious to us, and it should be obvious to everybody, that America has been corrupted from within. A lot of that goes back, I mean, I know from my own studies, my own things over the years, Russians, back in the 1950s, they started talking about how they were going to demoralize America, introduce drugs, get rid of Christianity, get into our public school systems. It's communism. Now you have the Chinese doing it. We have huge list of companies that take Chinese money, and they're basically Chinese owned now.
And congressmen.
And news media outlets. And I would say that if any news media outlet, if any company, even if it's Pepsi and they're delicious, I've always been more of a Pepsi guy than a Coke, but I'll just go ahead.
It's just a delicious word. I don't say very often.
But I think we just need to stop. That's the power that we have as the American people, and especially whenever it comes to social media platforms. A guy like Jack Dorsey, you know what? We take away his power,
right,
by hitting delete. One American at a time,
right.
And the same thing goes for all those guys. I mean, like, there's YouTubers. I've started unsubscribing. I mean, one in particular, I've casually known the guy for years, and quite frankly, 2020, I've just seen him go a little crazy, and I just said, you know what, I'm kind of done with that.
Would it be bad to refer? I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. I consider him a friend, and we talk. We've speaking engagements together, and he's been talking about little green men.
Yeah,
I think he's getting back to normal now, but I don't know.
Look, I understand.
It was kind of weird. Some weird videos he produced.
I've been in the prepping world for a long time, and I used to criticize guys 10 years ago for chest thumping. And to me, it's like whenever you see, and this is proven, when you see men chest thump and when you see men yell and get like really obnoxiously just outspoken, it's usually low T.
You mean like Alex Jones?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want to go down some crazy conspiracy theories, like some just unbelievable, because if you put all the people we were saying together, that there's the Monkey Works, there's Mike Adams is probably the better one, but X-22 and some of these other guys, I mean, they're arresting people right now, putting them in Gitmo, and they're tracking the planes down there, and they're just disappearing. All these actors and actresses and
like Gina
congressmen.
Haspel's down there. She's being waterboarded as we speak. Like, I'm sorry. Come January 6th, by January 20th, I'll even give them an extra month and say, if I don't see any evidence of this, you're done. You're full of crap. You're just.
And the thing is, everything they're saying, we hope is true.
Yeah.
And it's like they're playing to what we hope is going on. And then how do they respond when, well, if none of that comes to pass? Oh, they're keeping it under wraps.
Well, but the problem I'm having is they're creating a false sense of hope for preppers. There are so many people that they started doing stuff back in March whenever everything started to lock down. They're like, oh, holy crap, I got to get out there. I need guns. I need food. We've seen record gun sales across America. You can barely get ammo anymore. And now you just have this sense of complacency. Like, oh, well, they're doing these raids and they have everybody locked up and Joe Biden's walking around with an ankle bracelet.
Right. Yep.
And if none of
and so is Hillary.
Yeah. And if none of it's true, they have set people back months and months and months that they should have been actively preparing for what's still really happening.
I agree with that. So the conspiracy theories, so I just don't understand their motive, because they're getting watches on YouTube, but it's going to end. Their life's going to end on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, some of them's already been banned.
And as it should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, some of the guys, I would say, like, if you're being banned because you pointed out that there was election fraud, okay, there are multiple sources, and you can see that's being proven in the court system. That I feel bad for. But if you're going to tell me that such and such has been, abducted, and they're on a flight here, and this going on, like, there have been strange things going on. We know verifiably that there was like 50, 60 planes that went out to Nellis Air Force Base and a bunch of military activity.
But after the fact, we found out that was a pre-planned exercise. Did you know that?
No, I didn't even heard that.
Yeah. It was already planned exercise. And some of the guys at Monkey Works even finally said, hey, I got a note today from one of my guys, and this was a pre-planned, this is what they're doing. But when he was reporting on it, he was like, they're setting up, a camp or a
Oh,
forward base.
Yeah, FOB, yeah.
And it wasn't the case. But he did come back on that. But he hasn't come back from the Gitmo, taking everyone down to Guantanamo Bay and the prisoners. Even that lady, even just yesterday, he said that lady, Jeffrey Epstein's
The
madam,
whatever, yeah.
is in, I think, the Azores. I don't know if you know where the Azores are. There, it's in the middle of the ocean. It's like a Portugal island.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I've been there before, because when you go to in a C-130, you can't make it all the way over. You either have to go there, or Iceland, or Greenland to get over to England or wherever you're going. But it's a tiny little island, and he's showing photos of the prison and how many U.S. planes are going in there. That, you know, and I'm like, okay, you may be right, but I don't know. I mean, why is that important that she's there? You know what I mean? She's in jail, and she was denied bond. She's gonna. I mean,
we know they take people to black sites.
Yes.
They have black sites all across, even within the states.
Hey, let's don't get racist.
Just lost 50 subscribers.
But they're black ops. I mean, they're underground, or they're not known about. Yes.
Well, it's the important part is this international water, so they can get away with certain things that allegedly Gene Haspel love to do.
Mm-hmm. I think in Gitmo, isn't it?
Technically.
Yeah. It's on out of United States territory.
Yeah. But I think we can agree.
Mm-hmm.
Just unsubscribe, kick some people to the curb, and say enough is enough.
No.
And I'll be honest with you, like, I'm even doing this with some pastors that they put information out there. There's like, I'm kind of done with the crap.
I found, because of this, the pastors I listen to have completely changed. If your church isn't open, I'll never listen to you again. And one of my favorite pastors that I listen to is McCartney. Jim, was it McCartney? What's his name out in California?
Paul?
No, not Paul McCartney. John. And the other one is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Loran Livingston. Mm-hmm. And all other ones I'm not even listening to, because these guys are preaching the truth, and they're against the lockdown. They think it's more important for God's doors to be open. It's more important for someone to get saved and go to heaven, even if they end up dying from COVID virus.
No.
But I like that. But you started talking about elections. So if you guys haven't been in the know, there is major election fraud, and there's proof coming out every day.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the network news, ABC, CBS, and CNN, all them, they are literally suppressing the news like they've done before.
I think one of the reasons being is because it proves our judicial system on every level is broken.
Right. But what it also proves is, it makes a case there is election fraud. Yesterday, they showed live video of these machines, how they could be, anyone could go in there and change the codes, and they were connected to the Wi-Fi. They weren't supposed to be. You could connect to it through a USB, and that was supposed to be turned off. All these things were broken, and this was somewhere in, was it Cobb County?
Yeah.
Cobb County, Georgia. And any idiot could have put a thumb drive in there, hit a button, and change the calculations.
Yeah. Or you could connect to it, like we said, through the internet, and you could extract it, change it, reinsert it. And that was that. And it's almost kind of what happened basically that night.
Yeah, they shut down.
I literally went to bed November 3rd, and Trump was winning in swing states by hundreds of thousands of votes. And you wake up the next morning, and suddenly there's miraculously,
and we know also
just for Biden
in Georgia, they told all the poll workers to go home. And what they brought these suitcases out from underneath the table and started counting ballots.
I forget what it was, but I even read that there was one where they actually brought in officers with Dominion officials trying to intimidate poll watchers, threatening them with arrest. And it's like that's constitutionally what you're supposed to be there for, is to watch these polls. But in
one state they did throw out 200,000 votes. What state was that? Do you know? Was that Wisconsin or Michigan Or
It's probably more likely Wisconsin. I feel like Wisconsin, there's better standing for the election fraud than there is in Michigan. So I feel like Michigan looked at it and threw it out.
But that's Detroit. I mean,
yeah. Well, which I hate to say it, but this really shows the hypocrisy and the level of deception in the Democrat-run cities within the party itself.
Right. That's the truth for sure.
Now, one of the good things is, and I did read this with Mike Adams, is he's saying that Senator Josh Hawley is announcing that he's going to object to any electors from fraudulent swing states. I guess there's 2 other senators, now making it 3, and they're saying approximately overall there's going to be about 100 GOP lawmakers that are going to object to the election.
But that's not enough. I listened to a guy today, and he says the problem right now is the Democrats' House is too powerful that even Stephen Bannon, that he doesn't think that anything's going to happen. Now, of course, Stephen thinks that Trump's going to be president.
Yeah. Personally, I think that what this is all doing is going to be showing the complete failure in the legal system and with the judges across the country. And I think it's going to make a compelling case to go ahead and just declare the Insurrection Act or limited martial law. And as much as I've always said I would never want those things, I didn't want them under the previous president because his agendas,
but now your guy,
were obvious.
Right. So the Insurrection Act, what exactly is that? Do you know?
Oh,
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I've listened to people talk about it so much over the past 2 weeks.
I think that's where the president and the military take control of the United States. The military can go in without subpoena power and grab voting machines and grab everything as evidence. And they're trying people and actions on, if I'm not mistaken, on treason.
Yeah.
And so they don't go through the court system. They don't go through the House, the judicial system, or the legislators. It's totally military. And I think, isn't it Pence that can call that, or Trump has to call that?
I'm pretty sure Trump.
Trump?
Yeah. And who knows what Pence is going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, I did see, because a lot of people were saying that he was going to just declare everything legitimate and then flee the country. He was planning to leave, I think, the 6th or 7th to go over to Israel. Now
he canceled that. Yes.
So hopefully.
And we talked last night. I told you that Pence is for Pence. Let's say that I'm Pence. If you call me VP, that'd be great.
So I guess that makes me Trump.
Yeah. So if I'm Pence, I have 2 options here. One is I can do nothing. If I do nothing, Biden wins, and then Trump is going to run the next election. So I'm Pence. I want to be president one day. It's clearly been known that he wants to be president. And in his circle has kind of said that. So if I do nothing, Biden wins, Trump's going to run again the next election. So it's 8 years before I can run. If I do what he's supposed to do, which is say I forgot the act, what they call that, on the 6th.
No,
and he says it null and void or whatever.
Yeah.
If he does that, and then Trump becomes president, then in 4 years I can run as president.
Or he could just pull Lyndon B. Johnson and just have Trump, JFK.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah,
And that's another thing. I keep hearing all this stuff that Trump's going to declassify JFK files. He's going to declassify, UFO files and all this other stuff. He's just going to declassify everything.
He ain't going to do jack.
And people that say this stuff, just shut up. Like
that's Q. Now I'm not. I don't listen to Q. Are you a Q?
No,
QAnon?
I've never been.
I know that X22 talks about him a lot, but
that's probably why his voice kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys.
Hell, yeah, I can't even do it. I know. I did listen to him faithfully for a month, and then finally I'm like, dude,
listen to him, and I can't. There's certain ones that I know we have our little spiel and we don't really stay consistent, but there's some people I listen to, like Paul Begley, and that man needs to stop having caffeine. He needs to take it down about 20 notches.
So with that, so the only hope I have is Biden is going to be president. I have a little hope from my inside person that he truly believes Trump is going to be, and I want to believe that. And that's hope. So the question is this: if Trump becomes president, all hell is going to break loose.
But at the same point, if Biden becomes president,
all hell is going to break loose. So, what in preparedness? What would you do if Trump? Is it the same preparedness that we have to get ourselves ready for?
Here's the first thing I would consider. If we're looking at everything at face value, and this has been a coup, which I personally believe it has been whenever you look at the fraud.
I believe that.
When you look at the Iranian, the Russian, the Chinese, the Venezuelan involvement, what just happened not too long ago? There was another coup that happened in a faraway land that another alphabet agency was involved in. It was Ukraine.
Ukraine? Oh, yes.
What happens whenever you experience those, whenever one of our lovely alphabet agencies undermines another side? They target them, right? So if our guy wins, the left is going to be targeted. So people who were responsible for voter fraud, I think even down to the everyday citizens who work in polling places and participated in intimidation and changing votes, I think they're going to be gone after. I think your average run-of-the-day ignorant Democrat who hasn't done anything but just voted for Biden because they believed in whatever crap he was selling, they're going to be fine. But if you were a criminal, you're going to be gone after.
And you think Trump will do that?
I do.
Okay.
I think he has to. We're at a point now in our nation's history where if we do not get rid of the rot, in 4 years, it's going to come right back.
I agree. Is breaking the Constitution and trying to change an election outcome, is that considered treason?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think we're at a point, and people might hate it for a minute, but if you look at how corrupt these Democrats have been, the money that they've taken from other nations, and if you want to sit here and tell me, oh, you're just this great humanitarian Democrat,
right?
But you're going to allow Chinese politics to come into the United States, China,
right,
with all of their humanitarian crisis and their poor treatment of everybody, and we're going to let them come in and say how we should run our nation. Those people, to me, those corrupt people, should suffer a firing squad.
Even the Sally Joe that worked at a polling place that maybe ran a ballot through 30 times extra.
Yes.
Even that person needs to be punished. That is still a treasonous act.
Yeah, I'm 100% okay with that, because again, if you know your history, you know that world wars,
Hunger Games.
No, Hunger Games was a movie for us.
No, we should put them and have a hunger. Yeah,
that's actually what I'd like to do with the politicians. That's actually what I'd like to do with them. But you know that democide has killed more people than all the world wars combined. And if we allow communism to take root in America, and we see, if you cannot exponentially see the end game for where this is going, if you push it another 4 years down the road, it's going to come right back, and it's going to be even worse.
Speaking of that, why is it that congressman from California, why is he still a congressman? I mean, the evidence is clear that he had a spy. The spy even put people in his office.
Here's another good question for you. Why is it that Bank of America could come out and say that there was $2 billion of unemployment fraud in California alone, over 640,000 bank accounts? I'm sorry. At this point, if California falls into the ocean, I'm okay with it.
Why can't they track that and just start?
They've seized, I think, half of those.
Okay.
They've frozen those accounts. But that's affected every American.
I can't wait to get my government check.
I mean, you know.
Are we getting one? I doubt we'll get one.
If we do, ours will probably get lost in the mail.
Well, or if we qualify.
Yeah.
Because I make so much money. Yeah, it's crazy.
I like your $100 vest you're wearing today, by the way.
Or you like?
It's a shame you can't get the camera to work so we can see that.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of no camera. Actually, I can just be myself. I got my long johns underneath the t-shirt.
You did not care today. You were just like,
Yeah,
I rolled out of bed. I still got my long johns on. Are those the ones with the flap for the trapper?
No.
That's good.
These are the ones that.
Did I recommend it?
Yeah, you did, and they're warm.
So I will say, there's a few things that I know. Like I know outdoor apparel, and I told you get merino wool, get a merino wool base layer, and I was right, wasn't I?
Yeah, they feel great. And
I even taking them off in like 10 days.
No, that's not. That's it's 8.
8
no,
days.
no kidding.
8 days, yeah. So,
dude,
back to what we were saying as far as prepping. It doesn't matter who. It matters, but grand scheme, something is going to pop off. The riots, the protests, everything has died off. We know that on January 6th, they're saying that armed militia, and I've seen this. It's no joke. There are caravans building across the country, starting right now on the West Coast and building up in the Midwest, and there are going to be thousands upon thousands of armed patriots going to D.C. And they're basically saying, hey, if they see us in a caravan and they try and stop us, we're not stopping. We're going through. No one pull over.
Now, speaking of that, it's a little sidetrack that some of these people we were listening to were saying that Trump was going to deputize people in the militia.
To go after.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Almost like a you can shoot to kill.
Yeah. Be like, well,
I wouldn't say that wouldn't be fun. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, some of the conspiracy theories. So if Trump wins, I think there's going to be mass. I think there's going to be mass rioting, protests, but I also think that the military will come in and snuff it out like never before.
I'm going to take that a step further.
Okay.
If Trump wins, since Obama's administration, there has been news stories out there where the FBI has seen, and granted, that's how much you want to trust them. Armed militant groups have grown across the U.S., and they have not been, despite what the media wants to say, conservative. They have been liberals that have been receiving weapons from other nations that have come in shipping ports that they were well aware of. I think twice this year we caught AR lower parts, I think, coming in from China, and then full auto sears coming in. And they said the full auto sears, there was like 50,000 of them coming in, and China was specifying that they were to go to BLM Antifa. They're trying to supply them to cause disruption. The same way, like I was saying earlier, with Ukraine, the CIA did there. These groups are trying to undermine us as a nation. And if they cause any sort of civil unrest, civil war, long game, that still benefits our enemies. Because for years, despite what anyone wants to believe, back as, I would say, even as late as like the 80s and 90s, China and Russia were still game planning how they could attack America without really having to go in, break us down, and then just separate us. I forget the names of the generals, but there were 2 generals that came out and longstanding said, and I know Steve Quayle has talked about this numerous times, China has a treaty with Russia to take everything from the West Coast up to the Mississippi, and Russia will take everything from the East Coast up to the Mississippi. And to me, and I know we briefly talked about this, to me that feels like a biblical prophecy, because I know there is a scripture in there that talks about 2 angels with scythes, and you look at the communist symbol and having the scythe and the hammer, and it talks about them attacking a nation in the end. And I still very much feel like that could be us, but I'll go into all that on a deeper point another day.
Okay. Yeah, let's don't get on. So what if Biden wins? We're going to sucky mode?
I think if Biden wins, I think they're going to do everything in their power to go after conservatives. And I think based on what his COVID czar, his COVID administrator or whatever is saying now, they keep talking about genome surveillance. And I know you'll say it's conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm just saying that would never go across.
That's what they say. But what happens whenever they pass a law, even if the law is unjust, if they pass a law and they say you must have the COVID 2.0, because we already know that these vaccines that are out there right now, there's over 5,000 reported severe interactions with it. There's multiple people who have died, and there are people who have gotten it
after they got the vaccination.
They still got COVID. So
Yes.
it's crap. And I know, and I'm saying this from someone. I'm not gonna say I'm extremely in the know, but my brother knows this sort of stuff, and I think
You're a 5G guy, aren't you? Let's
Yes.
just get down to
absolutely,
it. Yes.
Absolutely. But DARPA has had the technology. They've been working on it since I think 2014, and they were trying to roll it out with vaccines this year. It will be ready for next year. And I've been hearing that for 2 years now, that there would be a disease.
I know you
X,
always talk about that, and I'm like,
and they would put that out there.
I don't. Yeah. I hope you're well. I believe what you're saying is true. I just don't think even the liberal Democrat people will go for it.
I think
more that Biden will come after a gun.
I think, in all honesty, if I'm being really blunt, 2020 is going to pale in comparison to the next year or the next 4 years.
Well, that's my book.
I think the Deagle report talking about 200 million Americans being dead, I think is conservative. I think if
do they still stand by that?
They do. They do. And a lot of it, they tried to say, well, we believe people are going to migrate. Like, oh, okay, you're going to lose 200 million people in America.
If you don't mind, remind us what that report is.
That report is a third-party think tank that is essentially comprised of and paid by the Pentagon, at least from what they say, my best understanding of it. And they have a general, I guess, general numbers that go over GDPs and populations, stuff like that, for the next 5, 10, 15 years. And it's probably about, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, maybe they came out with that report. And they still stick by it. They even have a disclaimer up on their site.
And 200 million people
will be gone from the U.S. And I think it was Mike Adams. It may have been someone else, but there was an article I read that was making a case for agrarianism in America and how when we went through the Great Depression, 80% of people were farmers. Now you have the exact opposite where 80% of people are consumers and you have a very small agrarian population, and saying that those people who cannot grow for themselves, well, you're probably going to starve to death. And that makes perfect sense to me. And that sort of thing would also happen in case of an EMP, solar flare, Carrington event. And then you still have civil unrest. And I just read today, I know Ice Age Farmer, one of the few that I'll actually say I really like is he goes based off of facts, not just a bunch of political hype.
I like Ace. He's not. I like Ice Age Farmer.
Yeah.
I tried to get him on my podcast, on our show.
Did he say only if Kyle does it?
Well, I've never seen him on another show. And I guess he gets so many emails. He maybe
There's a lot of these guys that get so many emails. It's just it's pathetic trying to get a hold of them. Like I would love to do one with Stephen Bendanoon, but I've emailed him probably a dozen times and I can never get through. I even tried his Twitter.
So what we need is the people that listen to just share it with everyone, so we become so big and popular that they could not refuse to be on our show.
Yeah. Well, that reminds us, subscribe, like us.
Yes.
Yeah.
5 stars. If you give us 4, we will hunt you down.
Not really. We don't have that technology.
Oh.
No.
It would be cool if we did.
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm too lazy for that, honestly. Show up at someone's door at 11 p.m. Why'd you give us 2 stars?
Dude.
No, but what were we even talking about? You made me lose my train of thought. Talking about agrarianism. I was sounding all intelligent.
Yeah.
And then you just brought it back down.
Well, we were talking about Ice Age Farmer and some of the things he was saying about.
Oh, he was talking about pigs and chickens. The UK is now trying to go after them because they're saying that COVID can spread through them.
With the bird flu, now there's COVID. And so, and there's a move within the food industry to get us to eat plant-based and insect-based food.
Oh, there has been for years. The UN's been talking about that since I think I was a kid.
And away from meat.
Yeah.
Because cows' flatulence,
yeah. Which I don't care.
Greenhouse.
I don't care either. Yeah. It's just they're using all these things to fearmonger the tyranny, the tyranny, the totalitarian idealism. And, you know, you look at the financial stuff as well. And I mean, I know a lot of people, probably people who watch us, I've even gotten some comments on Pi, like, hey, are you going to sell all of your XRP?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we see the SEC is not just going after Ripple and XRP. They're going after Coinbase. They're going after XLM, several other ones. I can't remember their names because they're crap coins. But now they're trying to sue and say that, you know, these people have just been collecting billions and billions of dollars. And it's all fraud and nonsense. That cannot happen. They're not going to toss away billions of dollars. And the reality is, and I would still stick by it, it's not financial advice. It's what I have researched. It's what I feel comfortable with. But I still feel very confident in XRP and Ripple because of the systems that they have and the amount of use.
So we're talking about digital currency like Bitcoin, and it's a good time to throw in a commercial. So there is a currency that's being birthed over time.
Birth is such an ugly word, though.
Well, okay, it's being created.
There we go.
Okay, created. And me and you are participating in this creation of a brand new coin. It's a brand new currency like a Bitcoin, and it's called Pi, P-I.
Mm-hmm.
And it's purple and gold, I guess, if you look for the icon. But if you sign up, so Kyle, we have teams, and the more people I have on my team, the more Pi I earn, and the more Pi you earn.
We're kind of in a competition, I would say, because you have a lot of followers. I did pick up more.
Yeah. I have. I'm only at 71. It's 71.
And I'm only at 32.
32.
But my goal is to at least get up maybe 100.
Right. Mine's 300. I don't know. So if you join, Kyle, I'll let you give yours first.
Right,
Do you know it? Because last time you gave it wrong.
No,
Okay.
I gave it right. People heard wrong.
Okay.
So
when you sign up, it will ask you if there's a someone referred you.
Yeah. Mine's Kyle, Kyle, 81283. That's my birthday if you want to send me birthday presents too.
Okay. Say it again.
Should I do it 3 times?
Just do it again.
It's Kyle, 81283.
Mine is Garvin, Garvin. That's all. Garvin.
Yeah, so yours is a lot easier. I should have just made something like
Nancy Boy.
Slap the.
But you can join, and what you do is you mine, in a sense.
It uses small amounts of resources off your phone.
Very small.
Negligible. You won't even notice your phone glitch or act slow or anything like that. Security's great. They use Yoti for biometric confirmation if you want to use that. But essentially, you just click it once a day. You mine all day, and you continue to build it up. And once it starts to actually go public or IPO, then we start to have an idea what it could be worth.
But we have no idea what it's going to be worth now. We're just earning Pi coins.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some people say it could be worth 8 cents. I've heard some people say it could be worth $100.
I sent you a report. This guy said $80 to $100.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, if I have 1,000 in there, nice. I mean, it will be taxed because of the laws that changes.
Yep.
This past year.
But that's Pi, P-I, and it's some Stanford. It's like professors at Stanford and is it Harvard or another school?
It's a bunch of nerds.
Professors that are engineers that have put this together. So, blockchain, all that kind of stuff. But Kyle and I have been investing and researching cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. And we've been in and out. And it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. There's been some gains. And
at one point, I tripled my money in one of my investments.
Yeah. Same, and then I sold and rebought, bought the dip, and made got a little bit more, and now it's down. But there again, I still feel fine with it.
Right.
I mean, back during the lockdowns, March 13th, it dropped down to 11 cents.
Right.
It's not.
So we're in for the long haul on most of them.
Is it hodl? That's what they call it. And it's a hold is hodl.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding,
Okay.
Yeah. Or was Christopher Green say Biddle?
Yeah.
He's trying to build his island out in the middle of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or a volcano. I don't know. That's crazy.
So we do. We need to do a show on that, even though we're not experts yet.
You know, I would love to have him on.
Yeah, he kind of drives me nuts, but he is good.
He knows his stuff. He makes his money.
Yes, he's a very wealthy man.
Yeah. Although I don't like the new Corvette.
I
prefer the Maserati.
Yeah.
But,
So, gosh, we follow way too many people. I mean, if you listen to we just don't sit on YouTube and podcast and listen. We work and we do stuff.
Yeah.
You go to bed listening to
I
stuff.
do. Steve Quill puts me to sleep really well.
That's really awkward.
I wish we would have gotten to go, and I know it was during the lockdowns. I think it was this past April, but they had something going on up in, God, what was it? Was it Hickory? I messaged you about. They were going to have like Steve Quayle and Hagman, a bunch of guys that were going there.
And I think you asked me to go, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to.
I think I was traveling to Chicago.
Maybe.
I was traveling a lot, like every other week.
Yeah. It's those small things in life. I mean, like now they're not going to have anything for New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to sit in front of your TV.
Honestly, my wife falls asleep at 9:30 anyway.
I typically fall asleep.
And I just stay up working on Preparedness stuff.
Yeah. So,
tonight.
How long have we been doing this?
We're at 46 minutes.
Okay, so we still got 14
I mean,
minutes.
so tonight, are they even going to have fireworks at places?
They're going to have fireworks over empty streets, they said. And, people will...
We can get our guns out and shoot them for practice.
No, we can't do that.
Oh.
Well, you can. I can't.
Oh, yeah, you're in... Yeah.
Yeah. They have those devices that allegedly detect...
Oh, yeah. Throughout Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have that out there.
Besides, I lost all my guns in that voting accident.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I've been looking for them guns.
It's a damn shame.
I'm starting a gun recovery company.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a boat with a magnet.
Yeah, go out to the lake. I'm sure you'll find a few. Probably nice.
I haven't found a one.
Really?
Yeah. The only one I found was used in a murder, 8 years ago.
No, but
was that yours?
No, definitely not mine. I left mine in South Carolina. I mean, no. I think that
I would recommend everyone, because you brought Ice Age Farmer up.
Yeah.
There is a food shortage in the world right now. Now we're not seeing it because we're going to see it last. But other nations and even countries, China, they're buying all the food they can right now.
Now the Argentinian strike with soybeans finally ended.
Okay,
that does change things a little bit, but still, I mean, we had a few weeks ago? We had that farm, the last 250,000 hens.
Oh yeah, huge fire, just wiped out. I thought it was like 3 million.
No, I think that's for the year.
Okay.
Okay.
Year. So we thought there was going to be a chicken egg problem, but
well, it's not just this year, and I don't think a lot of people understand between farm fires, storage facility fires, derecho, corn, soy, being affected by those things, flooding from last year, fish die-offs, bird die-offs. I mean, it's a progressive thing that's continuing. And whether it's intentional or not, and I'll speak from experience. I know that I used to work with a young lady. She had family down in Venezuela. And I know whenever they were going through some political unrest, her father actually owned a grocery chain. And they actually went to the warehouses, sent the military to the warehouses, and actually locked them up for months to allow the food in those warehouses to spoil, to create more panic with people, and to basically cut the supply so that they would control the food flow. So that's why you start seeing, things where people are waiting, in miles long, food lines. You want to tell everyone about your Apple Watch? You seem to be really...
I did get an Apple Watch.
You seem to be really obsessed with that.
I'm not sure if I like it because I'm a big privacy kind of guy.
And now everywhere you go.
This is just a 30-minute segment on this. So why I got an Apple Watch.
30-minute segment?
30 seconds. Why I got an Apple Watch. I can leave my phone at home and go out with my family. And I'm connected. I'm not going to take a phone call, but I can see someone called. I'm not going to reply to a message, but I can see that someone sent me a message. So I'm really connected, but still informed. And I can make calls from my watch like Dick Tracy. So if it's an emergency, I can walk out and make a phone call. But I think it's going to give me more freedom to have the watch and not take my phone.
I think it would have been a lot cooler if Apple came up with the Apple shoe. So it could be like Get Smart, so you can take your shoe off and you can talk. Now, this is like the third time I've heard the Dick Tracy comment.
The Dick Tracy.
Like 24 hours.
Actually, you were the first person I called.
I was.
On my watch.
Well, I was at one.
And you didn't even know I was on my watch until I told you.
No.
Yeah. No. So it's going to allow me to disconnect and not have this computer, even though my phone is a computer, with me everywhere I go and respond and have to read all the headlines.
Pressure. The pressure.
It's just going to be more freedom.
You're just going to feel less stress. More zen.
More. Okay.
That's going to be, that's your New Year's resolution. More zen. So
one thing that the Ice Age Farmer has is a map. Have you heard about this?
No.
So Ice Age Farmer has a map that you can go to.
Disasters?
Yes, all the disasters around the world. And it is amazing how many disasters have happened to the food supply, the processing plants, the transportation. I mean, it's like never before. It's like a full assault on food.
Let me ask you this. If you were just starting to prep today,
I would buy this book that Forrest Garvin wrote called The Preparedness Roadmap. You did not know I was going to go there, did you? It was just released about 30 days ago, called The Preparedness Roadmap that I wrote. Any other questions? It's almost like you're embarrassed because you did not know.
No, I just gave you a perfect 7.
And I went with
Anyways, so if you were just starting today, could you, within the next few weeks to few months, could you get to where you think you needed to be prepared-wise?
Are you talking skills or supplies?
We'll say supplies.
Yes. I mean, really, and we know this, and a lot of our listeners do. You can get for $1,000. I can buy enough rice, beans, lentils, spices, salt, and sugar to last my family for a year.
Okay. But
I got to have the knowledge to know what to buy and how to store it. But yes,
precisely.
Mm-hmm.
But you would also say probably that now is the time to do that. You need to be doing that now because that window, I think, is closing.
Yes.
I mean, if someone were to ask me, like, I love my truck.
Mm-hmm.
I'd bet my.
But you did. You didn't drive it today.
No. I would bet my truck that you have less than a year.
I have less than a year?
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
I read the letter from the doctor.
Yeah.
But I think most people who they have not started, they have. I might even say probably like 3 months to really get their act together. And you might think, okay, well, 3 months came and went, nothing happened. This is going to be your opportunity to get it done. Get out, get it done, start prepping, start learning things. Because the longer you procrastinate, the more likely it is something's going to happen and you're just going to be SOL.
And so there's some good templates online, like things you need to buy, bulk food, and for one person for a year. And I have 5 family members. So when it says you need 400 or 200 pounds of rice per person per year, you're always going to eat more than you think you're going to eat.
And I think a lot of that comes down to, and I mean, and I know you can admit this, if you go to your bug out location, you can grow a garden. Here, I can't grow one. I live in the woods, the jungle. Yeah. So you can't replenish anything. Me, I can't.
I do have rabbits.
You do.
And they multiply a lot.
Yeah. And see, this year, I mean, we'll see if that happens or not. I would like to try maybe fish, rainbow trout specifically. But then, I have my chickens as well, and that's great for the eggs and everything. But meat-wise, what I have or what I buy in the future, that's all I'm going to have. I'm not going to have them because I'm not going to eat my chickens when they're producing eggs. And then I don't have, the space where I can just go out and get 2 or 3 cows and then butcher them and freeze and all that fun stuff. So you need to be thinking about how to replenish food on a regular basis and how to actually garden properly. Because I know a lot of people out there, they say, I was listening to one podcast and it's like, well, you need X amount of hectares in order to grow this much and this much. but it's using traditional farming methods and just row planting. They're not actually doing anything where, like companion gardening. Like I've told you over the years, there's ways to grow different plants together that you actually have a much more abundant source. I know there's families out in California that do it, that, they grow enough for restaurants and family and friends, and they have enough food to eat, the entire year, and they have a half acre.
You see, that's where I think I have an advantage over you. My rabbits produce all year long. I don't have to store food. I don't have to freeze food. And protein, are vegetables important? I don't know. I mean, maybe. But I have vegetables in buckets that are lasting me for 25 years, and I've got 4 years worth of it.
Yeah.
Also, I can go get dandelions and edibles around me.
You need some dandelions.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for your kidneys.
Like everything in a dandelion plant.
Dandelion tea.
Everything's edible in it and good for you.
Mm-hmm. The root.
Mm-hmm.
The root's really good for you as well.
And that's just knowledge and skills you got to learn on where to eat the plant. So I think I have an advantage over you. You do have eggs. That's a plus. But man can't live on eggs alone.
No, but that's why I have a huge garden.
Yeah, but that garden, what are you going to do in the winter? You better have a cellar.
Well, that's why I still I'm going to be getting grow lights, so
Uh-huh.
I can grow certain
okay,
things
yes.
year round. And you can still, in North Carolina, you can still grow a lot of root vegetables and greens throughout the winter.
And also, when I go to my bug out retreat, I'm fortunate enough, I don't even have to grab my rabbits. We got rabbits up there. But I will grab them, and my rabbits will multiply and always produce food. All we need is a possum about once a month so we can get the grease and fat off of possum, because rabbits, you can actually die just eating rabbits alone. Did you know that?
Yes.
And so
I think that's why the guy that you got them from, he said it wasn't because of his heart attack, but I think it's probably pretty likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're set to go, and then I'm not a big believer of growing anything the first year.
I know you think you should just kind of hunker down and disappear.
Hunker down and disappear, because if someone finds that there's a garden, they know there's someone growing it, and there's resources they can come back and get.
I think it depends on what's going on, but I know we'll have to agree to disagree. Because for me, I think the more people surround you, then the more likely it is that you're going to be overtaken.
Right. Yeah. You'll be tomorrow's supermarket.
Yeah. Because once scarcity grows, you could have had an opportunity to build community and help out people little bit by little bit and build some security network around you. But then suddenly everyone's going to be like, oh, there's food, and they're not going to listen to what you have to say.
I don't think it's going to get that bad right now under Biden.
Not right now.
Even if Biden takes office, I think he's going to come after more of our rights and our guns, which are the same kind of, but they're going to do like a tax stamp, and for guns and ammo, they're going to put more controls over it.
Which it'll bankrupt some Americans. I mean, honestly, I think they said it would be like 35 billion or something like that.
Would you right now, if Biden's taking office on January 20th, would you buy, if you had $2,000, would you buy food, or would you buy guns and ammo and protection supplies?
Right now, I'd buy probably a 22, probably a pistol. So that'd be $300-$400 max.
Kind of like the one behind you.
Yep. I'd buy a few boxes of ammo, and the rest I'd probably just spend on food.
So you'd get at least a 22 pistol. I would get at least if you can, 1,000 rounds or more of 22.
Yeah.
Because it has gone up. It's probably $75 to $100 now for 1,000. Wouldn't you think? I haven't bought. I did buy some 22 over there, but it's subsonic.
I was good on ammo before all this.
Yeah.
And you were too. You didn't really need it, you greedy bastard.
I got 12 rounds, man. Come on.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing right now is just having your food together and then figuring out your bug out plans if you need to leave.
See, I would argue that I would tell someone to buy $2,000 worth of guns, because that is going to cost more in 6 months, 8 months to a year
I'm going to be honest, and this is why. This is why I got away from prepping for a good while
Mm-hmm.
and contributing the way I used to. There are so many people out there that are gun preppers that I started hearing more and more, I don't need to buy that. I'll just come take yours.
Right.
And I'm just being blunt. I don't have that much faith in the average citizen today, because I think whenever it comes to hearing, little Jack or Josie say, Daddy, I'm hungry.
Right.
They're going to go and they're going to shoot you and take your food, or they're going to go, rob a place, and they're not going to care because that's going to eat away at them. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not a horrible thing to live through, but there's no really good, strong moral compass in America grand scheme anymore.
I do think that both of us, and even a lot of our friends, are well-balanced preppers.
Yeah.
I'm not, I have a couple guns, and you have a couple guns. That's all we have is a couple
Mostly
guns.
BB guns.
Yes. But we don't overemphasize our guns and neglect, the rice and beans, the Band-Aids, alternative energy. I mean, I think we're pretty well rounded.
Yeah. There's something I'll say. Quick story. I used to know a guy years ago that was French Foreign Legion, and he was very devout atheist. And he told me some of the things that he had witnessed when he was in Africa. And he said, well, where was your God? And he went on and on about one of these atrocities he witnessed and how it made him feel inside. And I said, well, why would you ask where my God was? And you're the one who's saying that you had those feelings and that instinct to do something about it. And so did the other guys you were with, but you didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of equate it to a lot of preppers these days is you sit there and you have these feelings, this tugging inside your heart, and it's saying, I should really do this, or I should think about this. And you have that stress, and you ask, well, where's God? And that's what I kind of present to people. So if you have that now and you don't do anything, don't go to God later and say, oh, where are you?
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't come to my rescue. You didn't tell me. He's been telling you for months, years, decades to do something to prepare for this. You've had all the signs.
Now, good segue. Good segue to my first book, because all my friends, I wrote this one called "The Case for Christian Preparedness." This is a shameless plug. I wrote this because all my friends said, "I'm going to just trust God," and I'm like, "But you're going to be disobedient. I mean, you got to obey Him if you're going to trust Him too." And
It's
they're
like Noah saying,
Yeah, God's going to.
The ark's going to drop from the sky.
Yeah, God's going to take care of me when that flood comes.
I mean, I know people will be like, "Oh, well, manna," but that's very different.
But so that was my first book. Now, any way you can get a segment into my second book.
Is that the one I refer to as a toilet read? Well, you got your plugs in there.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
But I think that's the biggest thing right now is just I have to stress that you have to be prepping. You have to have all your ducks in a row very, very, very soon if you don't already. And if you know people in your life that they need to be prepping, you need to get on their ass about it, because quite frankly, those are the people who are going to be turning to you, and your 6-month supply is going to turn into a 6-week supply really quick.
Yep. So I tell you what, if people will go to, we'll do this next time. Next podcast, we'll give away one of my books.
Preferably the thicker one.
Well, no, that's the one I just released. I can't give that one away. That thing is hot, man. It's people are.
I do like that one.
It's a good book.
That's the one you dedicated part to me, right? You
no, I didn't know that. Let me see.
That was
the first two books. I think you're in. Let's see if the second book you're in. Yes, by name.
Yeah.
And the first one. Let's see if I dedicate it or thank you. No, that's my family. Oh, I do give you a shout out though. I think somewhere.
Kyle isn't dead.
Kyle is not dead. Let's see here. No shout out.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
No. Mm-mm. There is a secret message in this book about you though.
Oh, really?
There is. I haven't told you that. This is the first time.
Is it where you get like one of those little graph things and it spells, and it has like little slots and it spells out?
You got to
Kyle
figure it out.
today?
You got to figure it out. But there's 2 secret messages in the preparedness roadmap. And one refers to you.
And the other one's your bug out location.
No, it's the secret code. Blah, blah. The other one refers to chin.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm still waiting for someone to find that.
Or put you in a book, right?
So, but there's 2 secret code messages in the book. So we've been going about an hour. I think that it's a good segue to kind of close things down.
I think it is, because here's the reality of it. Like, there's either really no time left going up on January 6th, or there's a little bit of time left, and we'll start talking about prepper basics. And I know you had an idea that we'll talk about a little bit more. But I think the biggest thing is people need to kind of start getting away from so much of these podcasters who are just going out there to get your view. I know that some of these guys make money, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you're full of crap, just own it and chill out. You don't need to do a 2-hour video every day and keep repeating the same crap. And we'll just probably focus more on getting back to basics, and
we'll get back to some basics, but we won't be going over how to store rice.
No, I think we'll probably talk. I was thinking about maybe putting together some stuff for like Gray Man and going over that, and then how to prepare your vehicle for bugging out. And then I'm probably going to start doing
like a rig. I've got some armored vests that, just trying to figure it out and putting everything together. Maybe talk about some more advanced stuff.
Yeah, I would say
which is not really advanced. It's just that some people have never done that. I've never really organized my own,
I
chest
would
rig.
say I'll probably go back to my days many moons ago, back whenever, and I don't think you ever watched them, but Mr. Lock and Load, whenever that was still like a really big thing with YouTube.
I was just a child.
You were just a child back then. Yeah, I'll probably go back to those days and pull some things together. And I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably start my own account, not on YouTube because they're YouTube, but probably Rumble.
We're on Rumble.
No. But I'll probably just do some like quick, like 5, 10, 15-minute videos on different things.
Yep. And we got, there's so many things we can cover that are, they're basic, but they're not, a lot of people don't cover.
Here's one gripe I have, and I am going to say this really bluntly.
Okay. Is it going to hurt my feelings?
No. It's actually because we are who we are, and the things that we've done over the years, and we've done the meetings, and particularly with you, because you're kind of like nationwide. You've put together groups across the country.
I'm big time.
You're major.
I'm just
You're major.
Yeah. What?
But there are guys that we go to and we look to, like Scott Hunt. Scott Hunt, for his advice, for his knowledge, hands down, I'm going to say he's the best whenever it comes to engineering and solar. And his niche.
Yep.
And then there's, guys like Ice Age Farmer that he contributes his information. But there are a lot of people who are just now starting to prep, who are putting out videos on YouTube that are full of crap. There's a lot of people who have this notion that I bought chickens and I got a gun and I have rice and now therefore I know everything about prepping.
Right.
And they're still like, they're babes.
And there's some that are out there that are just jerks, and you probably shouldn't listen to them anyway.
Yeah.
And
Honestly,
some of them with false teaching too.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. I'll call out the people in the Azores.
Yeah. So those people, I just kind of want to see people. I'm not saying I'm trying to get more subscribers for us or anything like that, or we want to make our money.
We need 1 million subscribers.
We need like 5 million to make this work. No, I'm just kidding. But I just kind of want to see people get away from that, because those really are false teachers, and it's just nonsense. It's going to lead you down a really bad path, and you're not going to be prepared. If you keep allowing, especially the fear, to overwhelm you, and you're not focusing on the actions to get out of that.
And I will also say this: if your prepper or your instructor that you're listening to on any of the YouTube or a podcast, if they don't talk about groups often, they're not in a group. And I say this all the time. This is the end, so we're only got these are the dedicated people. If your instructor or a guy you're listening to doesn't talk about groups a lot, he's not in a group. He's not real. Your most important prep is being a part of a group.
Yeah, there's a lot of preppers who I used to refer to him as the paranoid prepper.
Mm-hmm.
That when the crap hits the fan, they're going to be the guy that has their house boarded up.
They're going to be by themselves and die.
Well, no, they're probably going to be sitting outside or sitting inside with a window cracked open and picking off neighbors that are walking around trying to figure out what's going on because they're freaking out.
Yeah.
They're going to be the last one you want to try.
But you got to listen to people that are well rounded and that believes that groups are the most important prep. And I strongly believe that. And I wrote a book. No, I didn't.
Shut up.
I am writing a book on that with Charlie Hogwood. So
I'm happy you got in all these free plugs. Would you like to sell any legacy or
I do,
Bump Sawyer?
Dude, I didn't even mean to. That was
funny.
That was spontaneous. Okay, guys, you can find us at Prepping Academy. You can also, that's the best way to get into contact with us. Preppingacademy.com. You can go in there. You can send a message to us. You can connect to both of us there.
Yeah, and he does check his emails. Even if he gets 30,000, they go straight to his Apple Watch now. So he can.
And if you send one to Kyle, I send it to you all the time. Yes.
Although the one who keeps calling me names and calling me skinny better stop.
And the girl says, "Hey, big guy." I think that's me until she mentions your name later in there.
Oh yeah.
So find us on Prepping Academy and subscribe to this podcast and give us a 5-star, because if you're at this point in this audio, you really like what we're saying.
Or you've been drinking heavily and it doesn't matter. Happy New Year.
Or you just woke up. So, hey guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.